What's up everyone, it's Melanie here. Welcome back to my channel. I'm gonna tell you guys the time that I was a DoorDash delivery back in 2023. It only lasted like 2 through 3 months over there in that year, so I quit because, it's not worth it. And I did enjoy, delivering and accepting orders from customers on the app, but it can be intimidating and hard, and also it's very low pay, and I don't recommend it for everyone because it's not something that you can do full time or make a living of it unless you get tons of orders in minutes from customers. But other than that, it's not worth it, honestly, because I feel like it takes up a lot of gas where you have to drive up to the restaurant or grocery stores to pick up customers' orders, and then having to drive to the customer's house. And sometimes the location and the customer's home address can be a bit far and a long commute, so that can be not worth it because it can take up the whole gas tank as well sometimes. And also, you only get paid and earn money if you get notifications if a customer or someone orders food from a local restaurant. So that's from my experience. So I would just say being a DoorDasher delivery or doing this job is probably not worth it because, it's very low pay, and it's something that I would not recommend anyone to do it permanently because it's not a stable job. And also you only get paid if a customer's ordered something near a restaurant, whether you want to accept that order and drive up to the usual address where you have to pick up the customer's order and then later deliver the food or item to the customer's house. So that's just my experience when being a DoorDash delivery. And sometimes, when we do DoorDash delivery, sometimes, the customers would put weird address where, they want you to deliver food at their workplace or their apartment, or if they're a student at school ordering food where you have to deliver food at the local school. That's a bit inconvenient from my experience because I felt it's, a bit hard to locate the right person in those areas because if you're not familiar with the place and it's not really a usual address there. So that's the part that it was hard for me to do, and it was super weird because, I'm not trying to hate on anyone, but it was hard because if someone wants you to deliver food at their address where they're at a high school or an elementary school, that might be difficult because you don't know where the right customer is at to deliver to the right person. And also, sometimes we have to communicate with them on a message saying hey, where are you at? Or this is a school and I'm not familiar with this place and blah, blah, blah. So that can be frustrating and a bit confusing and a bit strange experience to experience. So that's one part that is hard of being a DoorDash delivery, and sometimes customers would put bad star ratings on you even though it's not your fault. If one of their food doesn't taste good, or if the food is damaged, even though you don't know if it happens since, the workers at the restaurant sealed up the food into a bag where you didn't know that the food is ruined. And yeah, sometimes, customers will put bad star ratings on you, which is out of your control, which can be a bit scary and intimidating. So that's the hard part of being a DoorDash delivery, and yeah, DoorDash delivery is something that I would not recommend for anyone to do like for like a full-time job. I mean, you can do it, but it can be hard because like sometimes it can be inconvenient where we have to drive to like a certain hotspot where there's chances that you'll get more orders, and sometimes if you're in the right hotspot on the app, sometimes you will not receive orders and you'll just wait there like 30 through an hour or two waiting for a customer if they're gonna order food, which can be inconvenient. So that's the hard part of being a DoorDash delivery. So yeah, that's why I quit, because it's not something that I wanted to do fulfilling. It is low pay and not a stable job to do, and it's pretty tough. And then also when it happened, I have driving anxiety because when I pick up the customer's food, I sometimes get scared having to drive my personal vehicle where I have the customer's food in the car while driving, because sometimes I get scared if the food spilled or like one of the food like items broke down, even though it's not my fault. Then if it happens, I would have to tell the customer like face to face or call them about the issue, which can be weird and scary because you don't know how they're gonna react, and while you cannot control how they should react. And yeah, that can be hard to experience. I mean, I never experienced that, but luckily I do not, because I'm very sensitive and I get scared of dealing with mean people and people screaming at me of something that is out of my control. So yeah, that's a part that, why I quit being a DoorDash delivery, because low pay over there, and also the driving, and sometimes the long commute may not be worth it because it takes up a whole gas where you have to drive around to deliver customers' orders, and it can be tough. So that's why I quit, because it's not something that I would do permanently, and it's not really like a good part-time job to do, and yeah, that's just my experience over there. I mean, it was fun in the very beginning until like I've been like having to wait like an hour or 2 hours to wait until someone's ordered food on the app, whether I'll accept the order or not. So yeah, that's kind of what happened over there. So my parents were concerned when I do DoorDash delivery because like I was driving around having to deliver food, and they tend to get, concerned and worried if I have to pay more gas than how much I make for the DoorDash delivery job, which is totally understandable. So yeah, that's why I quit being a DoorDash delivery. I mean, I do miss it, but at the same time, it's not worth it. And the driving and having to wait possibly a long time for someone to order food to get money is super like inconvenient. And also, I don't drive anymore. And yeah, I also have driving anxiety too. So that's kind of what happened there. And yeah, I do miss being a DoorDash delivery, but at the same time, I don't want to do it because I don't think it's worth it. So yeah, just wanted to share to you guys about it. And yeah, but anyways, that is all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for listening, and I will see you guys later. Bye!